Welcome back to the best division in football with Awthentik in the Beard, presented by All or Nothing Studios. What's going on, team? Thanks for tuning in to our Thursday preview show. We're going to preview the 4 NFC East games coming up this week, as well as talk about the Thursday night Battle of Florida tonight. Thursday night game, Jacksonville versus Miami, should be a high-scoring affair, in my opinion. Let's bring in the fellas while this dope-ass beat's going. Beard, our own Beard. How's it going, my guy?
Man, it's going good. You know, just putting in work, loving life, getting ready. I was telling Awthentik before we went on air, I was like, I'm kind of excited, about this game. I don't know what it is. It's just, the Beard on Fitzpatrick and then Gardner Minshew, that dude, I don't know, just something about him. Like, I like his swag, you know what I'm saying? And I hate using that word, but Gardner Minshew be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. I'm just going to say a quick couple of hellos to everybody in the chat. I see Tesla Picker showed up early when the Cowboys win. That's typical of Cowboys fans, you know what I'm saying? Papa Homewood in the building. What's going on? Kelly is back. She said she got her jersey, fellas, and loved it. So congratulations once again on winning the jersey. Christian Yor is in the building. How you doing today, sir? Joseph says, best intro, honestly. We appreciate that love. And my man Cernock is in the building. What's good, Cernock? And my other Tim, Glock 30 fan. What's good, brother? So thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight.
Yeah, thanks for hopping in the chat. Let's keep it live tonight. Hit us with your questions. We're going to get to you. Awthentik, man, because now the real season begins. No Saquon Barkley. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing all right, man, considering the circumstances. This COVID situation, man, is starting to get real redundant, man. I'm getting real friends recently, man, for getting bored in the crib, but I'm definitely falling victim to that. It's been a pretty boring couple of days over here at the studio, man. I've just been chilling, worked on one mix for my homie Sway, sent a couple plugins to a couple homies, and that was about it.
Sounds pretty quarantine-ish. Sounds pretty 2020-ish. So the first game we're going to preview, surprisingly disappointing, Philadelphia Eagles are hosting the equally impotent Cincinnati Bengals in a matchup of winless teams. Eagles, surprisingly, have not started a season 0-3 since 1999, which was Andy Reid's first season in Philly. So we've already touched, we haven't talked about it yet, but we're going to talk about it. The Bengals' run defense, atrocious. They were gashed last week by Cleveland. So we know Miles Sanders is back now for Philadelphia. Started out pretty good last week. This kind of leads into my question for you, Awthentik. Philadelphia needs a win in the worst way. If you're Doug Peterson, if you're calling the plays, are you going to feature Miles Sanders heavily just to get that win out of the way? Or do you think this is a game they can kind of get Carson Wentz momentum going and really try to get some, try to get like some momentum? That's what best word I can use.
Yeah, man. I think this game you could do a little bit of both here, but I think it's going to start with the run. Let's date back to 2019. This Bengals rushing defense was one of the worst in the league, okay? Rushing yards allowed per game, 148. That was 32nd in the NFL. Yards per carry, 4.7. That was 25th. They allowed 17 rushing touchdowns. That was 27th. Runs over 20 yards. They had 22 runs over 20 yards, 31st in the NFL. So I think the plan here is pretty simple. You got Miles Sanders back. He had a 90-yard game last week. They weren't able to get him the ball as much as they really wanted to because they were playing from down pretty much that whole game. I think you got to ground and pound. Get that running game going early, man. Already this year, they've already allowed 122 yards to the Chargers. They allowed 200-plus to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Yeah. So I think the goal here is pretty simple, man. Like I said, ground and pound this. If you got to come out and show a little bit of pass just to kind of keep them off balance, do what you got to do, but make sure you showing this run heavy. I want to see 20 carries from their lead back, Miles Sanders, and whoever's going to be taking the other bulk of the carries there, he ought to get 10 carries himself too. Hopefully they could break over about 150 yards. But I do think even with that formula, it's going to be tough for them to win this game, man. The Bengals are coming off 2 tough losses, Scotty. And I know they're clawing for a win right now for this rookie quarterback. My Giants are in a similar you like that, right? Yeah. They're clawing for a win. You like that? I didn't even write that down. Yeah, man, I know they're clawing for a win here. So it's going to be a hard one to predict. But, yeah, I think it's going to start with the running game.
Running game. The Beard, do you concur on that sentiment?
I mean, Carson Wentz has got to play. He's got to show up to play. Like,
At
you know
some
what I'm
point,
saying?
he's got to turn because he's what, like 6 interceptions already through 2 games? Not that many. He has like 4 or 5. He's got way more interceptions.
He has 4 interceptions through the first 2 games, the most interceptions of any quarterback in the league.
Unacceptable.
Sound good, but it's 2 games.
Yeah, it's 2 games, but I'm just, I'm stating the stats. That's all it is. He's gonna have to make some plays, and we know that he's capable of doing it. Like we've seen him time after time escape, the rush, make a play using his legs and arm at the same time. Like he can do it. It's just a matter of him getting it done. I mean, the other thing is that they're hurting. I mean, it's not necessarily an excuse, but it is just, it's facts. Like now, Jalen Reagor, who they drafted, who I've been really high on, we've seen a couple of plays from him so far. He ends up having surgery this Wednesday on his thumb.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's heading to the IR 3 to 5 weeks.
They've had a 2-3 year run of like crazy injury, bad luck going in.
And so now you got him. He's out. Alshon's out. We're back to just Deshaun Jackson and I guess Greg Ward. I don't know who else is stepping in at wide receiver, but
what's up with Arcega-Whiteside?
Yeah, he's out there.
Arcega-Whiteside. Yeah, Scotty Boomz was high on him. What happened to him, man?
That was weak. That was preseason last year. That prediction's out the window.
I'll tell you what though, Nelson can't catch a baby Aguilar out there in Las Vegas doing pretty good, man.
Yeah,
making Philly fans super upset. But we got to talk about
Scott.
Yeah.
Speaking of that running game, right? Not only is Philly going to be able to have to get this running game going, but on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to have to stop the run. This defense coming in is pretty awful, man. They've allowed touchdowns on 7 of their 9 opponents' red zone attempts. So this season, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's looking real bad. Carson Wentz, I believe he has 2 interceptions in both games, but both games that they've played this year played out the exact same way. It's like they just struggle to adjust, and I got to chalk that up just a lot better during this next game if they want to get a win. And the Eagles season is kind of on the line. 0-3, we're pushing it there. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty close right there. Even though the Eagles are a great team in the second half of the season, I think they're going to have to really get this win. This might be a must-win for that squad, bro.
Definitely they got to win, but they also got to look good because they just have looked terrible. Wentz usually carries that offense. He has not been doing it at all. If he continues it up, they're not going to win even 6 games this year. The beard, though, we got to talk about Joe Burrow, number 1 overall draft pick. Bengals are sitting at 0-2. They really could easily be 2-0. He's played well enough in both games. They had a missed field goal in the first game off the calf injury. Who knows if that was real? And then last game, he battled Baker Mayfield all the way to the end before they fell to the Browns. How do you feel about Joe Burrow, just watching him last year in college and now his rookie season in the NFL?
I mean, I'm high on Joe Burrow, and I've said that, more than a few times. Watching his progression as a quarterback in college, you could kind of see it. And then I think the deciding factor was when he teamed up with Brady at LSU for that final season, because Brady is more of an NFL-style offensive coordinator. He's working in the NFL back now again this year, and I think that definitely prepared him. But the biggest thing about Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. That's it. That's the biggest thing about him. Like, he's on the field, he's in the pocket, he's in the huddle. You don't see any of that deer in the headlight at all. You see he's ready. He's ready to play football. And to me, especially for a quarterback, it's very important. But for a rookie quarterback, like, it's even more important. I remember them saying that about Dwayne Haskins, how like it took him a little bit of time before he was in the huddle. Like, hey, like somebody acting up, like he got to grab somebody by the jersey type. Hey, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, hit somebody in that side of the helmet sort of thing. And I feel like he doesn't have the best offensive line either. So it's not like he's sitting back there with Aaron Rodgers' time getting ready to throw the ball. Like he's having to maneuver around that pocket the entire time, like avoiding getting his head taken off. So it's definitely, he has shown that he's ready for the NFL. The only thing is they're going to have to, pick up the run game a little bit. We all know Joe Mixon can run the ball. So we're just waiting for one of those sort of breakout games from Joe Mixon.
He starts slow historically. He's a slow starter during season. Yeah. So this is nothing new for him.
And they just lost. I think they lost Uzoma, the tight end. I think they lost him for the season. So, good. But like I said, it's the NFL. Everybody's losing players. But I think he's done a phenomenal job so far, and I think I left this comment up on the screen because Clutch B-Ball TV, he's right. I think Joe Burrow's about ready to go to town on this Eagles secondary for sure.
He should.
Nothing he's done so far says he's not going to be a stud. Awthentik, you've watched a couple of their games. What do you think about the rookie?
I mean, I think the rookie's definitely poised. He's confident, but that doesn't necessarily always lead to great play. I mean, week 1, he was pretty average. Week 2, he comes out, he puts over 300 yards on the table here, and I think he had, 3 touchdowns? That's great for a rookie. They put up over 30 points, and they still lost the game, so that's very unfortunate for him playing a great game like that. I believe he had no turnovers in that game either. But this is the thing about this Eagles defense. Last year, this Eagles defense faced a couple of rookie quarterbacks, and you won't believe who had the best game against them. It was the Washington Redskins' Dwayne Haskins. He had his best game of the year against the Eagles late, where he was 19 of 28 for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. So this Eagles defense is showing you that they're not the kind of Bill Belichick-style defense that is going to shut down rookie quarterbacks without experience. I mean, I think this kid's going to come out here tonight and light it up. We've seen 2 weeks of the Philadelphia Eagles. They look like straight poop. I mean, they just not looking good this year, and we're waiting for them to get it together, which, I want to give them a little bit of time, and I don't want to be one of these guys that's jumping on the quick bandwagon on, dogging Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz is a very capable quarterback, just like Mitchell Trubisky was a very capable quarterback last year. People getting on him because he's not playing well, but I think there's a lot of problems over there with the Eagles right now, injuries being the number one. And a lot of teams in the NFL are suffering from the injuries. So, I mean, the Eagles are going to be just another team that's going to have to be able to find a way to dig through their depth and find the right guys to put on the field. I like what I saw out of Deshaun Jackson, man. I mean, they're going to need another good game out of him to keep this close, but this one's going to be a barn burner, as my man Tim would say.
All right, so if you're going to go ahead and say barn burner, let's get down to it. Awthentik, give me a pick and a score for Bengals and Philadelphia this weekend.
I'm going to go ahead. I think it'll be a pretty close game right up until the end. I'm going to go 34-28 Bengals.
That's considered a barn burner, man, for sure.
Man, I really, really want to pick the Eagles in this game because I don't like picking, for an unproven kind of quarterback with no wins like this. Cincinnati is like, the franchise got a lot to do with it with Cincinnati. I mean, it's just mediocre franchise, if you ask me. They've been struggling for a lot of years, and it's hard for rookie quarterbacks to come in and excel in those kind of systems. We're seeing it with Baker over there with all the weapons in the world. We're going to get to that. But the Bengals, it's going to be tough, but I got to pick them in this game. What was the spread on this one, Tim?
The spread is Eagles are 5-point favorites.
Yeah, so I mean, that sounds about right.
Okay, so you're going with the upset then. The Beard, give me a pick and a score for Bengals-Eagles.
Man, I picked the Bengals to win every game so far. This is the craziest thing in the world. I just realized that. And I feel like I should have gotten 2 wins off of those first 2 games. But they did cover the spread the first 2 games. I'm not mad at that. So if you're from a gambling standpoint, I'm definitely taking the Bengals to cover the 5 points. Now, this is a scary game because the Eagles really need this game. Let's be honest. Like, I hate to say it 3 games into the season that it's a must-win game. But in reality, it's definitely a must-win game. If you were in any other division besides the NFC East, it would be an even bigger must-win game. And we do know that the Eagles tend to play their best football when their back is against the wall. Am I right?
For sure. I mean, that's how they made the playoffs last year, no doubt.
All that being said, I'm picking the Bengals again. You know what I'm saying? Just because I think it's time Joe Burrow get that first W under his belt.
Third time's a charm.
Time's a charm. There you go. So I'm gonna go. The Bengals will win by a final score of 31-24.
I was going Eagles all the way anyway. The Eagles, you guys killed me last year, and you're going to kill me again this year. I can't quit you, Carson Wentz. I don't know what it is, man. For some reason, I think you're the man. They're going to come out. They're going to have a big week. Bengals, they're not. I mean, Joe Burrow, no doubt, he's going to be a great quarterback. He already is a good quarterback. Their defense, nothing to write home about. I got the Eagles bouncing back, getting the first win of the year. It's going to be 35-30. Eagles take the victory.
All pretty close, man. Those are all pretty close scores, man. So that should be a pretty good game if Awthentik, the Beard, and Scotty are doing their jobs properly.
A lot of bump defenses, it seems like. A lot of teams giving up a lot of points this year. I don't know if the lack of preseason or guys are out of shape. But
and typically it's the other way around when you don't have that sort of like preseason camp or you're waiting for a team to sort of gel together. It's more so on the offensive side of the ball than it is the defensive side of the ball.
I think it's the contact. Right.
Contact's definitely a thing, but also, skill position players, man, speed and stuff like that. You don't got to really work on that. So it's the defenders that need to work on their schemes and things like that so they know where players are going to be so they can put themselves in the right position to make the plays. And this year we're seeing a lot less of that and a lot of explosive offense.
This is true. But the second game we're going to preview from the NFC East, Tim, the Beard's Washington football team is traveling to the Mistake on the Lake. I know Dwayne's in the chat. Sorry for that, man. That was uncalled for. I didn't even say that. They're taking on Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Both teams enter the matchup. They're 1-1, but they're coming off very different week 2s. Cleveland thrashed Cincinnati, like we just mentioned a minute ago. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt combined for 32 carries, 210 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So this Browns rushing attack is nothing to sneeze at. It should provide a serious challenge to Washington's front seven. Baker Mayfield can move a little bit. No one would mistake him for a mobile quarterback, which might give our front seven a little bit of hope. But at the same time, if they can run the ball like they did last week, I don't know how Washington's going to do. The Beard, I got a question for you, buddy.
Yes.
You got to put on the defensive coordinator headset for the Washington football team. You got that?
Yeah, I got it. I'm here.
All right, plug it on. But before I ask you the question, I'm going to give you a stat because I like giving you stats, right?
I love it.
Okay. This season, Baker Mayfield versus the Blitz, 21 of 32, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Versus no Blitz, regular 4-man front, 16 of 30, 159 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's been killing the Blitz this year. That's Washington's strength on defense. Do you adjust your game plan at all knowing those numbers?
No, this is the thing. I think that the Redskins got too cute last week by trying to change what they did the first week because of who they were facing. Now, I'm not saying that you don't, adjust your game plan by your opponent because that's part of the game is, strategically planning out your attack based upon your opponent. But at the same time, it's just like anything. It ain't gonna come out right, and that's I feel like was a big issue with Washington last week. I feel like defensively they took the foot off the pedal, and this is the Washington football team has got to have an identity. They need to find an identity, and the identity needs to be based on the defense, and the defensive identity needs to be putting their foot on the offensive team that they're playing's throat.
When you say that, you mean rushing the pass? You mean blitzing a lot?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Everything. But yes, rushing the. But I mean, blitzing.
Well, an identity has to be specific.
Okay,
you're the D coordinator, Beard. I need you to call the plays.
You want me to call the plays? I'm sending everybody. Send the house.
He's out of here.
Yeah, I
don't know. But look, this is what I just want to see. I just want to see more pressure, whether it comes from the blitzing up the middle, whether it comes from blitzing the corners. There has to be some sort of creativity when it comes to these blitzes.
That's very interesting considering how many sacks the Washington Redskins have gotten in 2 games. I mean, how much more pressure you want?
But that's what I'm saying is that I want the same pressure. Look,
you want 8 sacks a game.
I don't. No, look, I don't need. It's not necessarily about the sacks as long as you can get the pressure. Because it's interesting that you gave me those stats about Baker Mayfield because I know. If you look at those stats that he had against the blitz last year, they were probably horrendous.
Baker Mayfield had last year was horrendous.
Pretty horrendous, yeah. But I'd be curious to see how many what the numbers are per game because as an accumulative 2 games might look a little bit different because his weapons clicked for him in week 2. In week 1, I mean, I could go over some numbers here for you, man. In week 1, Nick Chubb, 60 yards, no touchdowns on 10 carries. Week 2, he comes back with 22 carries and 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. Odell Beckham, 3 catches for 22 yards in the first week. In the second week, he's got 7 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, and we could talk about Kareem Hunt, who is the one consistent factor on that whole team every week. He had 13 the first week, 13 carries for 72 yards, came back week 2 with 10 carries for 86 and a touchdown. But let's not get it twisted. The weapons were clicking week 2. Week 1, not so much. The Browns came out and, to put up a dud. And didn't play well. But week 2, that looked like that championship team that everybody was talking about in the offseason going into 2019.
It's funny. The Browns, they have weapons on the outside. So Dwayne Sicklo in the chat right now, he's saying, don't blitz him, play coverage. That makes a lot of sense. When you have weapons like Landry and Odell Beckham, these guys can take 5-yard slants and take it to the house, making Baker Mayfield's stat look really, really good, like we just talked about. But in fact, he's just making a little dump-off play because he's under pressure. So almost – you want to make the game harder for Baker Mayfield. If you got to drop 7 guys in coverage, I'm down with that. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. I mean, those numbers lead to that too. He's playing this year, playing better on the blitz. But yeah, I mean, it seems like, what are you going to just send the house on everything? Let him run a draw with Kareem Hunt. You're going to get burned for 40 every time.
I mean, obviously you don't send the house every play, but what I mean? I want to see some of that defense that we saw in the first game. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Got you, man. I got you. Authentic. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that Kendall Fuller actually practiced all week this week. I know what we said.
You lied to me last week. I don't trust you.
But the word on the street is Kendall Fuller is back full throttle this weekend. So that's definitely gonna help. But it's going to be tough. Like I'm worried that you're going to have to stop the run. So it's like, is that your first priority, right? As a Washington football team's defense?
Always. You have to. Baker Mayfield didn't light it up last week. He only had, I think, 1 passing touchdown. All their work was done on the ground.
And I like our lines, the defensive strategy against the run in the middle, but it's you're almost going to have to have a little bit of what you had to prepare for with the containment on the outside, just in case, because Kareem Hunt, he's liable, like Awthentik said, to bounce that thing outside, and it's a wrap.
You have some leverage with Baker because Baker ain't the kind of guy that's going to break contain from your defensive ends too much. He usually, when he peels out of the pocket and he goes to the right or to the left, he's going backwards quite a bit. So those numbers you showed me, Scotty, it's surprising he's playing well against the blitz, man, but could be because the weapons clicking this past week, man. The Browns looked incredible.
They did look good. But my question for you out then is going to pertain to the Washington offense, Dwayne Haskins, Terry McLaurin. So you and the Beard have been preaching all season. You want to see a faster-paced offense for Haskins. Get in the huddle, get it snapped. Not a lot of, delay time. Get the momentum, get the flow going. With that being said, there's not weapons out there to force the ball to. We do have one, scary Terry McLaurin. He's the man. Did you see the Redskins getting cute last week on offense? He wasn't featured heavily until the second half when they did score some points. Do you think they should just go to this guy right away, regardless of who's covering him? Because it was Patrick Peterson last week, and he killed him.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that you got to attack whoever's going to be covering Terry. That's your only weapon on offense, so you got to live and die by it. I feel like Odell Beckham was in the same position with Eli Manning. You got to use these short intermediate routes to open up the big route. Once teams start seeing Terry going deep and getting touchdowns like that, they're going to play safeties over the top like we see with a lot of premier wide receivers in the NFL. I think you got to start with a lot of short stuff, a lot of quick slants, get them on that quick hitch and get the slot wide receiver blocking out there. Try to just let the corner know that, hey, we'll throw these short. You better play up. We're not playing this 5-yard cushion all day. So, I mean, I think you got to definitely get the ball to him early and do it creative, man. Like I said, get him on some hitches. If you got to get him on a reverse, get him on a reverse. Get him motion from one side to the other so you can let Dwayne Haskins know if the defense is in man coverage or not. The quick pace is definitely going to benefit Dwayne Haskins, and it benefits any young rookie quarterback because then your job is more simple. You don't got to go and read these defenses and be trying to make throws on your third and your fourth check. You need a veteran quarterback to be able to do those kind of things in the NFL. Somebody who can read these fronts quickly, which is my beef with the New York Giants as well, because they got rid of Eli Manning so fast. But we're seeing it right now with Daniel Jones. He's got big trouble reading these defenses up front. So I think you want to put Dwayne Haskins in a position to win. Then that's going to be the way. Let's go quick pace offense. It doesn't necessarily have to be, hurry up offense like 2-minute drill where you're not huddling up. But let's get these plays called out of the huddle quick. Let's get to the line fast and 3-step reads and let that ball go. And I think we'll see a much improved Dwayne Haskins if the Redskins can stick to a formula like that. And we'll see more big plays out of Terry McLaurin, and everybody in fantasy football will be happy.
That's absolutely true. The Beard, we already know what you want to do on defense, but blitz every play, I think, is something like that.
That's not what I said.
I know that
we know what
you said.
Y'all cornered me, man.
No one's cornering you. This is an open space. It's open thought, man. Say whatever you want to say. But I want to hear your thoughts on the offense. Are you going to feature Gibson more? He looked good the last couple weeks. Maybe get some more carries, or Scary Terry all the way on the outside. What are you doing?
All right, so the Browns' struggle defensively is the linebackers. That's their weakest point on the defensive side of the ball. So I think, you've been seeing a lot of this Haskins to Logan Thompson work and not work. It's kind of been a very rocky marriage so far, if you wanted to be honest. But there's been some highs. There's also been some lows. I think you're going to have to work the tight end a lot. Now, I'm definitely big on getting McLaurin involved early for sure. I think that's super important. I don't care what you got to do. Do what you got to do to get the kid the ball. I mean, he's the best player on your team.
Facts.
No
doubt.
You have the best player in your team needs to see the ball. And I don't care who's guarding him. This might sound a little crazy, but I don't think there's anybody in the NFL that can check Terry McLaurin.
Nah, he's one of the best route runners out there, man. I've watched a lot of his tape. He reminds me of Ocho Cinco, man. And in Ocho Cinco's prime, nobody could check him, bro. He was too quick, too fast, and he could run both style routes, which I was talking to you about this earlier, Tim. Amari Cooper is that kind of a vibe now. He's starting to prove me wrong. Like, he can go tough across the middle. Granted, the dude gets banged up a little bit, but he's a smaller body. But he's also able to take the top off defenses and run those fade routes and those deep, skinny posts and be able to get 40-yard bombs on you as well. So you got to stay disciplined when guarding these kind of wide receivers. I think Terry McLaurin, man, he's going to be a problem for years to come.
Chris Senora in the chat is talking about the offensive line not giving Haskins the time. That's definitely been an issue. There's no doubt about it. Tim, do you see improvement from last week to this week, or what?
No, it's going to be worse.
Yeah, the players aren't there.
Because, look, this is the thing. You have no Brendan Sheriff. Morgan Moses hasn't practiced all week, so I don't know if he's going to play or not. So, you're not going to have time to throw the ball downfield. That's going to be a huge issue. But you're going to have to start getting creative. I mean, we heard all this talk about Scott Turner and his offense and how he wanted these pass-catching running backs and wanted to, basically create a new McCaffrey. And I was thinking that's what we were going to be seeing out of somebody like McKissick and Antonio Gibson. Like, Antonio Gibson literally played receiver in college. Like, can you not make up some plays for him? Like, I don't want to sound like one of those guys that's complaining about the coaching already, because I'm not, but I am. You know what I'm saying?
You have a legitimate gripe, because you're right. They told us it was going to be dump off screens, a lot of running back receiving plays, and we've seen none of it.
And the other thing is that we need to see more from him, yes, right? And Dwayne's just jumped to where I was going to go next. This is the other big issue. You got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is coming at you. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the best in the game. If not, top 3, I'd say. A lot of people don't realize that, because they hear that name and they just think about him hitting people inside the head with a helmet. But like, my man is some trouble coming off the edge. So like, he's definitely going to be somebody that you're going to have to keep an eye out for, and it's going to be tough. So they're going to have to mix things up. And what's funny is that we've been talking about Dwayne Haskins playing in a fast-paced offense since last year on the podcast. This week, Awthentik sent me an article. Sean Springs was talking about, they need to start running this more fast-paced offense. I'm listening to the radio today. They talking about him running a fast-paced offense. I'm like, man, I've been saying this for a year.
Salute to Sean Springs too, man. Silver Spring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
One of the
NFL people that we got from our hood. You know what I'm saying?
And so, like, for me, it's like, if I'm calling the game out the gate, I'm first possession, I'm running no huddle. No huddle, off the break, no questions asked. I gotta say a quick shout out to my cousin out in Cali. Just stopped by. She's watching on Facebook, stopping by to say she loved me and Raider Nation, baby.
We love you too, Kelly.
But it's gonna be tough. I think the Browns are gonna be a tougher matchup than I had imagined they would be, and I think it's not necessarily just because of what the Browns have, but even more so what the Washington football team doesn't have right now.
So while we're there, give me a pick and a score, man.
I hate to do this. Okay, I really do. First of all, that 7-point spread, that's a little tough, don't you think?
We're talking about that on Sunday morning on the parlay. Catch us at 11 a.m. live. Tonight we're taking a pick. Been practicing.
Yeah, so I'm going to the Washington football team will cover the spread, but I think the Browns are just going to be too much pressure from the defensive side for Dwayne Haskins, and I think they're gonna tire out that defense. I think they're gonna stay on the field for too long, and eventually they're gonna wear down. And I think the Cleveland Browns are gonna win by a final score of 15. And yes, Sadiq Charles has not played. He has been hurt, still hurt.
Not going with your skins. I'm a little bit surprised, the beard.
I'm hoping it might switch up the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how sometimes you just gotta pick against your squad so they can come back. Yeah.
All I'm saying is there not going to be a whole lot of easier games in this game this week. Not that saying this is easy, but this is more of a winnable game than a lot of them on the schedule.
Facts.
Awthentik, man, where are you sitting with this game? Give me a pick and a score.
I got to go Browns on this game. Washington is just not showing enough on the offensive side of the ball to hang with them, and I think Cleveland has a pretty decent defense. I'm going to go the Skins get 3 field goals and a touchdown. And so what do you got, 16 there?
16.
And the Browns will probably take it. We'll go 31-16 Browns.
30. That's not a good game. We're going to get blown out.
I want to go 28, but I just don't see the likely odds of them just getting 4 straight touchdowns. So I'm either going to go 31. I kind of want to say 24, but we'll go 31. We'll go 31. Where's that game at? Is that? Oh, that's in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Let's go with
rocks.
the 31, man. And yeah, they'll cover that too.
31-16. I got the Browns winning at 30-27. I think it's going to be closer than everyone thinks. The fact that Dwayne's in the chat telling me how bad Cleveland is in every different aspect of their team gives me a little bit of hope. But I know he's also a realist and a pessimist too. So I think Cleveland comes out on top, 30-27. Washington is going down. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back, get into that Giants preview. Hang tight. All right. Awthentik's New York Giants are hosting the San Francisco 49ers this Sunday at 1 o'clock. No team was affected more by the injury palooza last week, in my opinion, than San Francisco. These names are ridiculous. Jimmy Garoppolo's got the high ankle sprain. He's still questionable. I don't think he's practiced all week. I know Mullins is taking first-team snaps. Nick Bosa, and Solomon Thomas got ACLs. They're done for the year. Running backs Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman are banged up. They did get all-pro tight end George Kittle back to practice this week, which would be a huge come-up if Mullins ends up taking snaps and Garoppolo can't play. Either way, though, there is no better time to catch San Francisco if you're a New York Giants fan and you're looking for a W. With that being said, Awthentik, can you hear me? There you are. Awthentik, how you feel about your chances this weekend with San Francisco losing everybody?
Definitely improves our chances. I mean, this injury report is ridiculous. I mean, all their key players are pretty much out, and it looks like Nick Mullins is going to get the start. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's right.
Man,
So,
I don't want to jump the gun, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to jump the gun, dog, but this looked like this is about to be Joe Judge's first win. I mean, granted, this is the team that was representing the NFC in the Super Bowl last year, man, but look at all these names off their roster, man. I mean, injury bug has destroyed them, but we can't forget about what it's done to the New York Giants as well. We got Saquon Barkley out for the year, and we got Sterling Shepard now on IR with, I don't even know what they're calling the injury, if it's an ankle or if it's turf toe. They're talking about the turf at MetLife is straight garbage. I don't know what's going down, but I did hear that the Niners stayed on the East Coast or something like that so they could get used to what's going on with the turf situation over there.
Greenbrier, West Virginia.
I mean, this game is so tough to call because the Giants have been playing terrible first half football. So if San Fran can come out and get a lead in the first half in this game, I don't see the Giants coming back to win it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to pick my Giants here because we got Nick Mullins, who's going to be throwing to a wide receiving core that, I mean, is just as dismal as the Washington Redskins. I mean, Kendrick Bourne, who has 6 catches on the year, 101 yards, which is not too bad. And the rookie, Brandon Ayuk is coming back.
He's a beast.
2 catches for 21 yards in his debut.
Are those their top 2 receivers?
Those are going to be their receivers going
Debo
into this
Samuel
game.
been out. Brandon Ayuk is a beast, though. Keep your eye out, Brandon Ayuk. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young boy. When I saw his profile, I was like, man, can't be banking on no wins on that kid. He's a young boy. Jordan Reed, though, man, that was a sign of, a flash of greatness from his good old days back in Washington. He had a game here, 8 catches, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns in week 2. So, I mean, I do think that he's going to be a problem. If the Giants can figure out a way to stop him, which Martinez, our new middle linebacker from Green Bay, he's not the greatest cover linebacker, but I know you were talking about a stat last week, Scotty, from Pro Football Focus, that he's one of the best middle linebackers stopping the run right now, which I think he'll be able to come out and do. But if he can't stop Jordan Reed, is Kittle out? Is Kittle ruled out?
I think he's been practicing. He's probably going to play. Yeah,
that's what I heard, because that was they had an MRI on knee sprain or whatever that was. Even if he comes back, I think he'll still be banged up, and I don't anticipate a huge game from him, being that he doesn't have the chemistry with his backup quarterback, even though Nick Mullins been over there for a couple years now, I think. But
he got some wins last year.
Say it again?
He got some wins last year when Garoppolo got hurt early. He
did. So, I mean, I do think he's capable as a backup. The Giants are just coming off the signing of Devonta Freeman coming in here. I don't know how many carries he's going to get. Talking with Entertainer on our show on Tuesday, Tainer says you can book it. He's going to get 4 carries at least. I don't know how they'll implement him in the running game. Last week, Wayne Gallman didn't dress, and we only had 2 running backs on. So I don't know if they're planning on dressing just 2 running backs this game.
2 running backs? That's
it was just 2 running backs. And that's why you saw a heavy dosage of Deion Lewis when Saquon Barkley went down, because they didn't have no other backs. Unless we're going to put Jabril Peppers back there, which, I mean, he can do it all.
Devontae Freeman will get 14 carries.
I mean, that would be amazing. He is the kind of running back that I think can fit right into the system, because his running style is very similar to Saquon Barkley. Barkley appears to be a bigger, more bruiser back than him. I don't even want to say bruiser, but more bruiser back than him. But still runs very outside the tackles and, more of a scat back style type of running back, making people miss in open field and things like that. So I do think that Freeman could come in and he can benefit, or our team could benefit from bringing him in and giving him a couple carries. He's a switch of pace running back. Deion Lewis can come in and maybe get a couple receptions, but we're going to need a bigger game out of him in this game here against the Niners, because last week, even when it was just him back there, they were giving him some carries, but his yards per clip wasn't that good. This game is going to come down to my homeboy Slayton and Daniel Jones if the Giants are going to want to win this game. I'm hoping we can have a just supporting running game. I don't need 100 yards out of both backs. Just make it so we can run the ball on first down, pick up 1 or 2 yards maybe, and have reasonable third downs for Daniel Jones to try to make things happen. If this offensive line can come out and be much improved with their pass protection, because Daniel Jones, the 2 pressures in the first 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, it's just ridiculous for a guy who's going into his real first season under the helm. Had a couple games last year, obviously, and in relief of Eli Manning. But yeah, man, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm looking for big games out of Golden Tate and out of Darius Slayton. Our wide receiving core is just looking super, super slim without Sterling Shepard. But I think this is a sign of things to come for the future. Sterling Shepard, super injury prone. You might see the Giants deal him soon, I think. And Evan Ingram as well. Evan Ingram's got to come out here and show up. Last week, most of his catches, when I went back and looked at the tape, most of Evan Ingram's catches were coming out of the slot. So, man, Evan Ingram's a damn wide receiver at this point. We need to just keep Caden Smith in at tight end, and he can be the pass-protecting tight end that we need so we can run these low numbers of wide receivers going out in routes, and hopefully that'll be effective for Daniel Jones.
So who's stepping up in that third position? Is Bird or Bard? Bird?
Board is going to be coming in, and getting some snaps. And I think you're going to see Evan Ingram there. I mean, that's our slot wide receiver who went down. He's our main slot wide receiver. And Evan Ingram can take that role on, and hopefully it leads to him getting more snaps. in the 11-man personnel, and he can be on the field when we're doing 3 wide receivers and things like that.
I kind of like that. Evan Ingram,
he can't block
out there, and then Caden Smith on tight end.
That's so embarrassing if you're a tight end who's supposed to be on the line blocking the big boys. They're like, do you mind just scooting over to the slot because you're not built for this game? Like, man,
we'll put you on that nickel corner you can take care of on the block. You know what I'm saying?
He's earned it, though. I mean, he's played like trash the first 2 games when it comes to what you want from a tight end other than receiving. He's not blocking anybody.
Facts.
The beard, Kyle Shanahan, he's down his top 2. Well, not top 2, but 2 of his stoutest D linemen. Bosa, MVP type candidate guy. And then Thomas is also out. Knowing the Giants' issues in pass protection and Daniel Jones' penchant for putting the ball on the ground, do you want to see a similar defense that you wanted to see from the Redskins and blitz out all day long, or are you going to sit back and let Danny Dimes make mistakes in the passing?
Well, what is it called in Madden? Engage 8. That's Tim's defense.
Send everyone.
Send the house.
Y'all gonna stop with that now, man. I told y'all pin me to the corner on
That's
that.
That's a running
question,
joke
man.
for the rest of the year.
Work your way out of it, man.
Look, the battle of the IR.
Facts.
This is what it is. This is the next man up game. And you know what? This is the thing. A lot of people gave a lot of love to San Fran last year because of their depth on the defensive side of the ball, particularly their D line. One of the big things that a lot of people praised them for was the ability to keep that rotation going on that defensive line, and thought that was a huge reason for their success and great large leap from the bottom of the barrel of defense to the top of the league. But I don't know. This is an opportunity for the New York. This is almost like a must-win game for New York also. I feel like it's weird to be saying these sort of things this early in the season. I never like to talk like that. But just because of the way that the season is going so far and the difficulty of schedule that the NFC East plays, it's
been brutal.
These games are very important, and you have to take advantage of situations. And right now, you have a situation here that you need to take advantage of. It's going to be a lot if Garoppolo plays or not, because Garoppolo actually been playing pretty well. No interceptions. I think he's thrown 4 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? But like the offensive line of the Giants has struggled at times a lot this first 2 weeks of the season, and to go up against San Francisco that doesn't have their top 2 DNs, you better be ready to come up with a game plan to take advantage of that situation. And I think, if I'm the Giants, I'm going out guns a-blazing. That's all there is to it. I like that better than bringing the house. Guns a-blazing.
Guns a-blazing.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like, the Giants also very similar to the Eagles. Their backs are against the wall, and typically the Giants play well when their backs are against the wall. And I think you're going to see this is an opportunity for, they have, they've won some games down the stretch when they had to over the last couple of seasons, even though, not all of them, but some of them, you know what I'm saying? But
nobody in the NFC East is a front runner. We're all coming from behind. We always got our backs against the wall.
We're all chasing Dallas, man. With Dallas getting that win week 2,
Dallas should be 0-2 too.
This is a must win for all the teams to try to keep Hunt in the NFC East, because I don't look at the Redskins, the Giants, or the Eagles as a playoff contending team at all, especially after getting this little 2-week sample of the Philadelphia Eagles. They look worse than the other 2 teams. So we're really down on the Cowboys. The Cowboys at 1-1 could have came out week 1 and maybe got a dub, and it might have looked a little bit better, but we're really hoping for them to lose games. And then once we get about 2 games back, it's over. If the Giants get 2-3 games back, it's wrap city for us in the NFC East. Even though the division is dismal, our schedules are too crazy.
This is very similar to how we felt last year at the beginning of the season. We thought Philly and Dallas were going to run away, and but we were all up in it, to the last 3 weeks of the season. They were like, "Well, Washington still has a chance."
Let's be honest.
Crazy.
There is first of all, I'm more relaxed, but everybody in the chat, no matter who you're a fan of, knows that Dallas should be 0-2, not 2.
Bro, they made up a new onside kick. You deserve a win for that, man. They made the watermelon kick, bro. And it was pretty. It was amazing. I've never seen an onside kick like it. We got to commend them for the comeback. And Dak Prescott's no quit. This is not the first game you're seeing that from him. That dude does not quit, and he gets a lot of garbage time stats, but he didn't quit, and they were down by 9 with 2 minutes left in that game. And, man, Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons are choke city.
Choke City.
This is B Rabbit in the first battle at the shelter.
Yo, there's a good realistically speaking, there's a good chance that the entire NFC East goes winless this weekend.
Definitely.
We almost did it last weekend. So
I was about to say, we almost did it last week, man.
Look,
saved us.
There's only been one team has won each weekend so far this season in the division.
The only reason we got one in week 1 was because we beat the Eagles, right?
Surprising.
Yes. So, I mean, we only have one win outside the division. We are the worst division in football. We got to rebrand ourselves.
Man, straight up.
It's terrible. But now, before we keep moving on with that, though, we got to get you guys picks for the Giants San Fran game. We're going to start with the beard, because Awthentik, I know where he's going with it.
You.
Look, nobody really knows what I'm really going to say half of the time. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I do know this. The New York Giants are going to come out of this victorious. I think that this is a defining moment for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. No Saquon Barkley, new head coach, second-year quarterback, struggling offensive line, but you're playing a depleted San Francisco 49ers team on your home field, the field they complained about and said was unsafe playing conditions. So they're going to come out victorious. It might be sloppy. It might be ugly. It might be beautiful. It might be a barn burner. But I am going to go with the New York Giants by a final score of 21.
One more time, the beard, you dropped out. I heard 21 for the second score, but what's
27-21. New York Giants victorious.
27-21. Yeah, the Giants are going to win pretty. If they're going to win, it's going to be ugly. Awthentik pick and a score for your G-men taking on San Fran.
I got you. Do we know who's running the ball for the 49ers?
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah. McKinnon, my man, Jerick McKinnon, man, out there. Don't forget about him. He was a beast before he had those 2 devastating injuries.
From Minnesota.
He stepped in last week after Mostert, and that's a huge. We didn't even talk about that. That's a huge loss for them. He's their leading receiver and their leading rusher.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned it at the top of the preview. Mostert is down, and Tevin Coleman. He's there. He was the other back.
Yeah. So McKinnon, he's a beast though. Don't sleep on him.
Okay, so we got McKinnon, but we're not going to have much depth over there. Giants are dealing with the same thing. This is such a hard game to pick, man. I got to go with the home team, man. We got to get off this bench and get a win. I agree with you, Scotty. I think this game is going to be ugly. I think the Giants come out of this one 24-20.
Oh, you did say Giants.
Yeah, I think the Giants come out 24-20.
Because when I said it before, you were like, maybe you don't know who I'm going to pick. Okay, I knew.
Yeah, you know.
I think he was talking about me.
You know, a little suspense, a little intrigue. You know, I can't have them thinking I'm picking my Giants every week.
You're also asking questions like you wanted to hear some stats first, but you really knew all along you were going with the G-men.
Smoke and mirrors, brother. Smoke and mirrors.
It's smoke and mirrors. You guys are giving me this W this week. This is the type of game where winning franchises, contending franchises, beat teams that aren't good. I got San Francisco beating the Giants. It's not going to be pretty. Even if Nick Mullins is a starter, I think they're going to take him down. It's going to be 24-17. The G-men are falling to 0-3.
Sheesh.
I'm sorry, man.
So at what point are we gonna go over the standings? I mean, we don't have to because I had a bad week last week. But
would you like to go over the standings now?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go over the standings. Where are we at after 2 weeks between the three of us?
All right. Last week we picked 5 games, the 4 NFC East games, as well as the Thursday night game. Awthentik led the way. He was 4-1 with last week's picks. I was 3-2.
What do you know?
And Tim the Beard was 1-4 at coming off his undefeated week in week 1. So he flipped the script there.
Okay.
Overall standings, Awthentik sitting on top, 6-3. The Beard in second at 5-4, and I'm in last place at 4-5 right now. But you know,
so everybody, we know, one game apart. It's not
so
bad.
Everybody, like, you know,
Steve's
in the front.
What's the hell going on here? All right, everybody's favorite time. It's time for some questions to reveal our knowledge or lack thereof. Awthentik and the Beard presenting trivia time. You boys ready?
I was born ready.
Sure.
But every time you ask me if I'm ready, I'm never ready.
I'm never ready.
Because you're getting your Google up and your Wikipedia.
You gonna hear like this. Can you repeat the question?
And that's when he just goes to Wikipedia or Pro Football Reference, starts banging it.
Voice search.
I got 3 questions for you gentlemen this week. One of them has a added bonus question if you both get it right. So possibility of 4 points, we'll say. But like you always know out there, it's ambiguous how we do this game. Nobody really knows. So the Beard, you're ready.
Yeah, I know. I went first last week. Last
I just
episode.
asked you if you're ready, man.
Okay. Look,
Stay
no
calm.
Google.
Papedian, Coach. Papedian.
No Google.
Papedi. Awthentik, are you ready?
I'm ready, bro.
I love this question. Mike
I hate
Simone.
when you say that.
No, this is a good one, though. This is a good one. Mike Simone got this question right earlier, so y'all should definitely get this question.
Okay.
But you might not.
Hey, shout out Mike Simone for helping us out with the production the last couple of weeks, too. I forgot to shout him out on those. So, yeah, that's my guy.
The guy right there. Back to the question. Who is the current leader in touchdowns scored amongst active NFL skilled position players? So no
Wait,
quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's easy. I told you he's going to ask you to repeat it.
You make me feel bad when you do that, the Beard. You make me feel like I'm not speaking English or my syntax
I was reading
is off.
the chat at the same time. All
Okay.
right, let's go.
I got my answer.
Do you want the question again, the Beard, before I take Awthentik's answer?
It's basically who scored the most touchdowns in the league since when? That's not a quarterback?
It's not since when. It's the current one that's active. That's not a quarterback. Yes, correct.
Okay.
All right, Awthentik, give me your answer.
I got to go Ezekiel Elliott. I feel like he's been around for a while. And, yeah, I mean, he's been scoring touchdowns since 2015, 2016. I don't know. That's my guess.
The Beard.
Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
That is also incorrect. You're closer, though.
Ooh, that was close. I didn't even think
Anybody
about
in
it.
the
Frank
chat?
Gore?
Anybody? No, Frank Gore.
Frank
Nope,
Gore?
nope, nope. Nobody else, huh?
Ain't there another old back that just got signed?
How about this? I'll give you guys. It's a wide receiver.
Ooh.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald. Good job,
Nice,
Do I get a
nice.
half point for that?
Absolutely not. Larry Fitzgerald
Absolutely
is
not.
first of active players. He has 120 career touchdowns. That's 12th overall. And Adrian Peterson is second amongst active players. He has a $117, which puts him 13th overall. So 0 points and 0 points. We go to the second question.
Shout out to
Deadlock.
OG, man. Larry Fitz.
The man right there. Chase Young, defensive end for the Washington football team, has 2.5 sacks through his first 2 career games. In the last 15 seasons, so that's since 2005, there's only one player with more sacks in their first 2 career games than Chase Young. I want you guys to name that player. We're starting with the Beard.
How many years? 15, you said?
15 years. Don't get cute.
Don't get cute. Is it like recent or further back than
Man.
recent?
I don't know what to tell you. 15 years is still recent. That's when I graduated high school. I don't know, man. That's recent. I'm still young.
I'm going to go J.J. Watt.
You and Kelly at the same moment.
I know. That was kind of crazy. Did you just see that and then
No,
say it?
no. I was
Weird.
looking up at the
I
sky.
was thinking maybe because you said first 2 games, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is
I
a
was
really
thinking TJ Watt. I was thinking TJ Watt, but I mean, I'll go with Von Miller. I don't know.
It's a good guess. Von Miller's a good guess. You guys are both incorrect. It's Myles Garrett. He had 3.
Oh,
That's why I asked if it was recent. I was thinking either Myles Garrett or Devin Bush. Those were 2 of my backup answers. Man, this is brutal, bro.
Devin Bush
Yeah.
only played 1 season. Oh,
That's what
2
I'm
career games.
saying.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
2 games, yeah.
It would have been good. Man, these questions are too tough. I'm going to dumb them down next week for you guys. This one you will get. This one you will get. And when you guys both get this answer, you will unlock the bonus question, which will decide tonight's victor. I'm
Okay.
excited about this one. This is
I
good.
can see it in your face, bro.
Running mobile quarterbacks are all the rage in the NFL these days. No one can deny
RG3.
that. It's all over. In fact, of the top 50 rushers in the NFL after week 2, 7 of them are quarterbacks. Just tells you what you need to know. Quarterbacks are running the football. Of the quarterbacks that are leading the league in rushing, Kyler Murray's first place. Through 2 games, he has 158 rushing yards. It's an impressive number. Which quarterback has the all-time record for rushing yards through 2 games? Don't
You
get
said
cute.
we were going to get this?
Don't get cute.
Michael Vick.
I'll go Michael Vick.
You guys are both correct.
Yes.
All right. Don't get
Unlocking.
cute. You better pick the fastest.
Yeah, just go
running
with
quarterback
whatever
ever.
comes to your mind. Because I was about ready to get real cute. I was thinking like Randall Cunningham,
Odell
Steve
Beckham
Young.
Jr. says Michael Vick too.
Save your head up. Wait for this one. Wait for this is good. Who is number 2 behind Michael Vick? Michael Vick had 175 yards in 2006 through 2 games. The number 2 guy, I'll give you the year and I'll give you the team, and you still won't get it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like that.
The way the music dropped out on that one.
Do
Okay.
In 2013, the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders ran for 162 yards in his first 2 games. Go ahead and fire away. Chat, please chime in.
In 2013.
That's correct.
The 2013 Oakland Raiders?
You guys get 30 seconds because this is a tough
I'm
one.
going to go Terrell Pryor.
Oh, that's a great guess.
Scotty Face didn't tell me it was right, though.
Poker face.
Jeff Garcia? Did he play for the Raiders?
That sounded like an answer. Is that an answer?
Jeff Garcia. I think he played for the Raiders for that. I mean, he played for a lot of the random teams at that time.
Well,
Am I
that
right,
wasn't
Jeff?
that wasn't the question. Jeff Garcia has played for a lot of teams. The answer is Terrell Pryor.
I knew that was right. I just wanted to be
Yeah,
different.
you like that. Sneaky.
Man.
Sneaky.
Didn't want to be different if
I'm
different is wrong,
bad.
man. Didn't want to be different when
Hey.
different is wrong. We're gonna go to
All right, quick question though. Did Jeff Garcia play for the Raiders ever?
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
He played for everybody, I think. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we're gonna come back with the Dallas-Seattle preview. So stay tuned. 20 seconds. Dallas hosts Seattle Seahawks in a tough week 3 matchup for the Cowboys. Russell Wilson off to a torrid start. He's the early MVP favorite. With that being said, Seattle's defense struggled mightily. Now going to face their toughest test. Cowboys were the #1 offense last year. Seattle has, surprisingly, allowed the most passing yards in the league and allowed the 2nd most rushing yards. So this is not your Legion of Boom your daddy tells you about. This is a brand new Seattle defense, and they're looking fairly leaky. Ezekiel Elliott has played 2 games against Seattle in his career. He's averaging 112 yards. So the Cowboys offense looking like this is a game they could really put up some points. Awthentik. Other than the Giants, I feel like Seattle and Russell Wilson, that's your squad, that's your man. How do you feel about them this weekend going against Dallas? You know, they've had their struggles on defense. You think Dallas is going to give them some trouble, or do you see a blowout?
I don't see a blowout, but I definitely see a barn burner in this one. Seattle's defense has been letting teams hang around. Russell Wilson, man, starting the year off incredible. 52 of 63 for 600+ yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's 82% with his completion percentage. I mean, that's ridiculous through 2 games. Now, I want to date back to something when Russell Wilson and the Seahawks made their last Super Bowl run. Russell Wilson led the league in being sacked, which is crazy. So I think when Russell Wilson is the kind of guy, when his back's against the wall, that's when he plays better. And in that, I believe it was 2013, he got sacked 44 times that year. 12 in the first 3 games. He's only been sacked 5 times so far throughout the year, which is kind of crazy for a team like the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, very scrambling style quarterback. He's like the Daniel Jones that actually makes the play good after scrambling out of the pocket,
as opposed to putting it on the ground and fumbling it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I do like the Seahawks in this game, but Dallas is no slouch, man. I mean, they're starting to get things clicking. You got no 100-yard games from Zeke this year, but he's got a touchdown in each game, and he's averaging 4.2 yards a carry. I mean, that's solid. That right there will keep them in the game, I think. And Dak Prescott's just will to not lose games. I mean, he reminds me of the quarterback at the park in the backyard or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, he's telling himself, man, it's 2 minutes left in the game. It's the Super Bowl, and he's coming back. It don't matter what the odds are. Dak Prescott has no quit. I think with last season and this beginning of this year, Dak Prescott has proven that whatever money that he's going to be getting from the Dallas Cowboys, he's worth it. That's a premier quarterback in our league right now. I would take him over damn near every quarterback in the league. There's probably only 5-6 guys that wouldn't take him over.
Really?
Yes, really. I mean, the dude is solid, and he's got that winner thing. He's got that Tim Tebow at Florida kind of thing where it's like Dak don't want to lose games. And I was a little bit concerned at the beginning of the year because I was thinking maybe that was the Jason Garrett kind of philosophy why the Cowboys have been able to remain around 500 and just, a couple games above that pretty much throughout the past 5 to 10 years. And I mean, I do think it has to do with quarterback play. They got lucky with 2 third-string quarterbacks, man. Tony Romo coming off the bench like Willie Beeman, and then Dak Prescott does the same exact thing when Tony Romo's folded on his back on Monday night or whatever it was with that top camera where he looks like a dead roach.
Broke his back.
So I mean, and you gotta take into consideration where this kid is playing. He's playing in top 3 hardest cities to play in. I mean, the Dallas media, and we know about Jerry Jones, that pressure is ridiculous. I just think this game is going to be a really, 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 really close game. Seattle's put up over 35 points in both games. They're probably going to have to do that again to take care of the Cowboys here in this game. And this is a defining game for the Cowboys. If the Cowboys could come out and win this game, week 1 will be a thing of the past, and nobody will be talking about that.
You're not wrong about that.
Great point.
You see my eyebrow? How serious that shit was?
I didn't even know you could do that with your eyebrow. That's really impressive.
I don't think he did either.
I saw it. I said, "Oh,
vicious. Look at
hey,
that
that's
thing.
when you talking some serious, yeah."
It's funny because you've been giving all the love to Russell Wilson. It's well earned. I didn't know you had the admiration for Dak Prescott, though. You really talking him up, and he's proven that he's that guy. He has the weapons around him, but he's somebody to get behind for sure. The Beard, how do you feel about this matchup? Do you think the Cowboys have a chance? Do you think Seattle's going to blow them out? What do you see as keys of the game?
I mean, look, I think Dak is a great quarterback. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say otherwise. He's trash, this and that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But the Giants. I mean, the Giants. Look, I'm all over the place. The Cowboys are about to get smoked. Okay, Russell Wilson is football league right now after 2 weeks. I don't think there's any debate about that. Okay.
What'd you say? Say it one more time.
I said Russell Wilson is hands down the best quarterback in the NFL right now through 2 weeks. Okay.
For sure.
The Giants. I mean the Cowboys secondary is struggling. Okay, and you saw what Matt Ryan did, right?
And there's an Awuzie injury too, I believe.
Oh, see, I mean, it's
wrong, but I think he's
now the Matt Ryan thing, Tim. That game is kind of crazy because you got 5 fumbles, 4 loss, 2 fake punts. That don't even sound like the Cowboys. That sounds like the Dolphins against the Patriots or something.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't. But
well put.
Okay, so you would think that would mean like short field position and stuff like that, right? But Matt Ryan still put up 450 plus yards in the air, I think, something like that, right? No, he didn't. I'm lying. It was 297 yards.
He said, no, he didn't. I'm lying. I like that. Quick reading.
But no. Okay, so I mean, I think that Seattle's defense is actually a lot better than people are giving them credit for because they've given up some points, to the Patriots and then in the first week to the Falcons also. So I think it's also interesting that these two teams have had a common opponent already this early in the season in both playing the Atlanta Falcons. Jamal Adams has been killer on the blitz this year for the Seattle Seahawks. So Seattle Seahawks are blitzing more this year than they have, I believe, in any previous year during Pete Carroll's tenure, and especially with Ken Harvey Sr. calling the defensive plays over there. What's that?
It's not working. I mean, they give 800 passing yards through 3 games.
Right now.
It might not be working to point standard, but it's working to getting them all big plays. They're undefeated. They're undefeated. Look, to me, you can give me all the stats you want to give me, but the number one stat that matters is that win-loss column. You know what I'm saying? And Seattle Seahawks are 2-0. The Cowboys are 1-1, about to be 1-2. And listen, Jamal Adams is going to cause havoc. The reason why I brought that up is because I think Jamal Adams is going to be the player of the game. I think he's going to cause some havoc.
I almost want the Cowboys to win this game just because of your confidence and Cookie Monster in the chat. I'm like, look, y'all down on Dak.
I'm not down on Dak.
Who was the little short, long-haired wide receiver that the Cowboys had in the slot?
Cole Beasley.
Okay, so Cole Beasley, Cookie Monster compared Dak to Flacco, which is crazy because Dak has those game-winning clutch moments that Flacco only had in the playoffs that one time for real. Now, I will tell you a game with Cole Beasley, Dak Prescott against the Giants. I want to say it was 2 seasons ago. It might have been last year, though. On a 4th and 14, he torched us on a post route to win the game with no time left on the clock. Dak Prescott is clutch. That. But the thing is, he played for the Cowboys, man. People gonna hate on players for the Cowboys, and I get it. But look at the stats. Look at the touchdowns from Dak Prescott last year. Do you remember going into like week 10, week 11, how high they were on Dak Prescott being like the number 1 rated passer in the NFL at the time? I mean, come on. Dak Prescott has shown and proven under a rookie deal like nobody's business, man. We got to get that man his props.
Yeah,
man.
no,
that man his flowers, man.
Listen, that's why I prefaced my whole thing with is that like I know that Dak is a good quarterback, a great quarterback in this league right now. But on the defensive side of the football, the Cowboys are playing really bad, and they've gotten really lucky that they're not 0-2 right now. You know, like if all Atlanta had to do was belly flop onto that ball. And game's over.
All they had to do was stop Dak Prescott from throwing touchdowns when they was up by whatever it was.
Yeah, well, that would have helped.
The fourth quarter.
That would have helped too. But he didn't throw touchdowns. He threw 1 touchdown in that game. Look, you know how many touchdowns Dwayne Haskins has this year?
2.
No.
You know how many touchdowns Dak Prescott has this year?
Yeah.
2.
All right. So,
but what if we looked up scoring drives? What if we looked up scoring drives? Because Dallas just put up 39 points to get a W. I don't see the Washington Redskins putting up 39 points.
They didn't because they don't need to because their defense is better than Dallas's defense right now.
Dak Prescott has like 3 rushing touchdowns. Let's not forget that he ran them all in last week.
And Monique brought that up in the chat about how against the Seattle Seahawks, he got the 4th and 10 or 4th and 15 to beat them. Look, Dak Prescott not only can throw the ball, but he's the kind of dude that'll run over your middle linebacker if he has to on a 3rd down and 10 or 3rd down and long or 4th down and long. The dude is clutch and he wants to win. He's not shying away. We're not getting no alligator hands like Odell Beckham. There's no fear when it comes to Dak Prescott. I'm not saying that physically, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but neither was Tom Brady.
I'll give you that. You're right. Dak Prescott has not thrown an interception in his last 6 straight games. That's the longest streak of his career. He's playing the best football of his life.
The interception this game. He throws 2 interceptions this game.
Okay. I sense it.
Well, now that we're making these bold predictions, let's get down to the gritty, nitty. The beard. Give me a pick and a score.
All right. I'm not going to draw this one out more than it needs to be drawn out. The Seattle Seahawks will be victorious by a final score of 42-21.
Talk more. I need to look something up.
That's crazy. I'll do my score then.
Look something up, man.
That's crazy. The beard. For like the first time in this entire podcast history, I actually wrote down my scores before we started the show tonight.
Really?
And I actually have Seattle also scoring 42 points, 42-35. I think that's going to put up points. I think Dallas is going to do their thing. If they feature Zeke heavy, control the clock, keep Russell Wilson off the field, Dallas absolutely has a chance. With that being said,
they have a chance to win. Let's not be foolish. The Dallas Cowboys are not a bad team. They just have a bad defense and they're playing a tough schedule. And they're going to lose.
Their best bet to win, though, is you got to keep Russell Wilson off the field. That offense, the way he's playing now, and running the football is the best way to control the clock in the NFL.
Jamal Adams going to blow up that hole in the run.
Didn't the Falcons lose to Seattle week 1? Is that what that was?
Yes.
So both these teams have played the Falcons, and the Falcons put up big numbers on both defenses.
Do you remember what they did? It was like 300 passing yards between his top 3 receivers against the Seahawks secondary.
Yeah. This is a really difficult game to pick, man. Like, I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like them.
But we know this.
I think I'm going to pick them to win this game. Yeah.
You almost have to stick to your original 0-4 prediction preseason. I don't know if I'm allowing this.
I mean, they already shocked me with this week 2 win against the Falcons. They showed me they could put up points, and that's the scary part about this team right now is that they can hang with these offenses even though their defense is not playing well, which scares me against Seattle. And their front, I feel like, can get after Russell Wilson and cause some pressure. I don't see Russell Wilson putting up no 35 on Dallas now that I'm looking at this. I'm going Dallas. Strangely enough, I'm going to pick Dallas. When I wrote down my notes for today's show, I was going to go Seattle, but I'm going to go Dallas. And I think this game is going to come down to like the last play. I'm going to go 34-31 Dallas. I can't believe I'm doing it. But I'm doing it. They already proved me wrong on the 0-4 start. I was wrong on the Redskins 0-8 start. I'm taking that, all right? But I think the Cowboys got what it takes. We have no 100-yard games from Zeke Elliott yet, man, and I think we might see that in this game. If they can run the ball, control the clock, and manage to score in the red zone, I think the Cowboys can come out of this with a victory.
All three of us are picking barn burners, high-scoring affairs. So if any of our predictions come true, it's going to be an exciting game to watch. There's no doubt about that.
For sure. It'll be a good game no matter what.
And I'm taking into consideration, man, when you win on a comeback win like they did against Atlanta, man, you hype. You going into the next week ready to
you tired,
man. You know, you ready to go off that, dog. You tired? Come on, bro. You know what it's like to win a game like that.
Yeah, I do.
You know what you going into Monday's practice, we swagging, we dancing, we got music playing, they playing Lil Wayne on the PA. Man, we ready to get a dub. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going Dallas, man.
All right.
All the hype ends as soon as Russell Wilson takes the field and burns you guys.
Hey, I do get a final answer chance on the parlay.
Yeah,
Sunday
we do.
morning.
We
so
do.
maybe
We
I'll
do.
change my mind.
Because I might
now,
change my mind for the Redskins.
We'll go Dallas for now.
So I guess that's the fine print of this program is don't put any money on what you hear tonight. Wait until Sunday morning and then lay your bets because right now it's kind of off.
Exactly.
All right, cool. One more game to recap, or excuse me, preview, and then that's it. We're gonna let you guys go. It's 8:14. What time's kickoff, Tim?
8:20.
Oh, we got 6 minutes. Let's roll through it. Tonight, it's the Battle of Florida. It's the battle of the mustache versus the beard. Ryan Fitzpatrick taking on Tim's Gardner Minshew, Jacksonville Jaguars versus Miami. It's going to be an epic matchup. Miami comes in 0-2. Jacksonville comes in 1-1. Gardner Minshew, dude, where did you come from out of nowhere? Came in last year, 7th-round pick, I believe. Had a pretty decent rookie season this season so far through 2 games, 75% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 3 in each game. His passer rating is 115 plus. They got an undrafted rookie running back. How do they find these guys? James Robinson, he had 102 yards last week and a touchdown. Number 1 receiver for Jacksonville, DJ Shark, is out. But if you guys have been watching, you know the beard is on Laviska Shenault Jr. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry. He's averaging 12 yards a catch. He does it all. He's one of 3 players this season to line up in the backfield, the slot, out wide, at tight end, and quarterback for at least 1 play. So that's like a little stat for you guys just to chew on for a second. The beard. Miami's secondary has been thrashed back-to-back weeks. They made Josh Allen look like John Elway. How do you see this game playing out? You think Minshew's just gonna like feast on these dudes or what?
I think this. All right, so look, I know this is like you can anybody can say this, but I feel like this game is gonna go 2 ways. This game is either gonna be like one of the more like high flying, exciting, back and forth, you know what I'm saying, games like you don't see on a Thursday night, or this is like a 10-3 game. So I mean, you're not gonna get anything in between. You're gonna get one or the other. But I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I've been telling Awthentik before we went on air that I think this is going to be a great game. I've been high on Gardner Minshew for a long time. You guys know it since last season on the podcast. I was telling y'all mustache magic. He grew the hair out a little bit longer. You know, like I'm like a combination of the both of them. You know what I'm saying? I got the mustache and I got the beard. You know, I got the hair that could drop down too. You know what I'm saying? But anyways.
Gardner Fitzpatrick.
I like it. GF,
But look, let me tell you, I am high on Laviska Shenault. I've mentioned that guy's name at least once every single episode. I think he is going to have a monster game tonight. Prime time. If you do DraftKings and you do the showdown matchups, put Laviska Shenault in your captain spot because no DJ Shark, as Scotty Boomz mentioned, he's going to have a huge game. Minshew is going to keep things rolling. But I think that Fitzpatrick, you watch out for that Fitzpatrick-Gesicki connection because he really likes Gesicki. Gesicki has had 2 huge games so far. Devontae Parker, he's kind of been quiet. Preston Williams, I've been high on that kid. I think one of those guys is going to have a big game outside of Gesicki. Running back wise, Robinson, like you said, undrafted free agent, like he's balling out. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be exciting.
Awthentik, do you think there's any chance Fitzpatrick comes out tonight, looks bad, and the Miami Dolphins insert Tua Tagovailoa?
Man, I was going to say, real quick, Cookie Monster asked how old I am. I'm 37, bro. 1983, all day in the building. This game, I mean, these are two teams that really don't have a lot of weapons. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, they managed to do a lot better without their weapons. And it might be something to have to do with the organization here, even though Jacksonville had a lot of turmoil in the offseason with their organization. But players that end up going over to Miami just don't seem to do well. I mean, we've seen this with running backs in the past. And Jordan Howard, man, I mean, I'm just like down on this guy. This dude was like a top 10 back when he was in Chicago. Then he bounced around, went to Philly for like a year or two, right?
1 year. I think it was just 1 year, right?
You know, and then now you end up here in Miami, and we got you 2 weeks at 11 yards on 8 carries. Oof. I mean, that's just not good. Now, going into the draft last year, and even winding down the end of the season, everybody was talking about tank for Tua, tank for Tua, tank for Tua. And now this guy gets drafted. He's not even on the field. I mean, I think it's time to maybe just throw this kid to the wolves. And that's normally not my style. I like to see quarterbacks develop under veteranship and, you know, get on the field when they're really ready to play. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, he don't seem like in his off time he's trying to groom a rookie quarterback. He seems like in his off time he's probably like down in some IPAs and
chopping down some trees. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I think you might want to throw him out there and get him some playing time. We saw a little bit of flashes from the kid in San Diego from Herbert, who looked pretty well. And we found out that they injected Tyrod Taylor with a needle in his lung and punctured his lung.
Oh my God, that was a crazy story when that broke.
Man, that boy, I will be suing the NFL crazy. But I don't see Miami being able to really do anything in this game. Miami, the kind of team that I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm just not even checking for them, man. Y'all could not play their games on TV and just give me the results at the end of the week. We don't want to talk about them anyway. I think the Jaguars come out here and handle this game fairly easy. I don't see a high-scoring game because Gardner Minshew's the kind of quarterback that he is a game manager to perfection.
Oh, he's a little bit more than that now.
Can you had your chance. Let me explain. All right. And reason why I say to a perfection is because you're not going to see that dude throwing the ball 40 times, 38 times, and have like 400 yards or 380 yards or nothing like that. Normally, he's very efficient. You're going to see like you saw in week 2 where he was 18 of 20, had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, whatever it was. And you're going to just see a solid game out of him. I don't see a strong running back presence again from them, even though you're saying the kid Robinson had 102 yards. I don't think you can see stuff like that week in and week out from guys you don't know, especially when they're in Jacksonville. But shout out to my man Camber, who is a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Make sure you check him out. He they do at least one episode a week. Check him out. It's Camber, at Camber, KAIMBR. Real awesome show produced by my homie Gadget, who's at Digital Hustler. Definitely check them out, and I'm hoping for a big win for Jacksonville for them tonight.
Give me a score. Did you give me a pick?
I'll give you the score. Let's go with quick. We'll go a quick 23-13.
So early bedtime for Awthentik tonight. It's gonna be a snooze fest. You picked Miami.
No, I'm gonna be on the Apex Legends later on tonight. If you want to sign on and get shot, I'm at Awthentik Music on Xbox Live.
You picked Jacksonville?
Yeah, I'm going Jacksonville in that one.
All
for
right.
sure.
The beard, man, quickly.
Jacksonville 36, Miami 33. Shout out to my boy Jim. If you in the chat still, Jim and Johnny Mac over at Jim Bob's Breaks on Facebook. I got my Tua Mosaic Prism in the mail today. It's beautiful.
It's looking fine. That thing looking. Woo, about to steal that joint. Don't let that thing hang around.
I'm feeling some Tua tonight. I don't know, man. I think Byron Jones is out from Miami. Their top corner, one of the big offseason acquisitions. So I think Jacksonville's going to come out throwing the thing. I like the mustache. I got Jacksonville taking this game tonight. It's going to be 30-20. Fitzmagic's not going to make a showing tonight. Awthentik, man, say goodnight to the fans before we kick them out of here.
I like your score better than mine, Scotty. Thank you to everybody who joined us tonight, man. We kept the chat live once again, man. To my day ones, we appreciate you as always. Shout out to Entertainer who came on the show on Tuesday, and my co-host The Beard, and my man Scotty Boomz. Yo, y'all been just lacing the podcast. Dope job every time. And yeah, make sure to tune in on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. The Parlay. We'll be talking fantasy football, which I'm garbage at this year.
The Beard, man, send them off.
Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. You guys have been awesome so far this season. Shout out to everybody who watched us on Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope tonight. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. We are live Sunday morning, 11 a.m. It is really a lot of fun. We will be answering all of your fantasy questions, all of your gambling questions, going over every single game. Just thank you guys once again for all the support. I hope you guys enjoy tonight's football game.
They all said it best. The Battle of Miami, the Battle of the Facial Hair. Enjoy tonight's Miami-Jacksonville game. Check us out Sunday morning. I got to work. I won't be there. Awthentik and the Beard are going to hold it down for me. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. But make sure Sunday morning, 11 a.m., the parlay. Check us out. Best division of football. Peace.